Hi guys, Neddy here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have something fun and exciting for you guys. I will be reviewing my 2019 MerMay illustrations and creating a brand new mermaid for MerMay 2020. So without further ado, let's get into the video. For those of you who don't know what MerMay is a month-long challenge where you draw a new mermaid for each day in May. So for this video, I picked my top 3 mermaids from last year and I'll be showing you a time-lapse process while telling you what I liked about them, what I disliked, and if they lived up to the idea I had in my head. If you want to see the other mermaids that were created last year that will not be reviewed in this video, they are up on my Instagram account at NeddyIsNeddy, so you can go check those out. Also, I decided, because I've been seeing these amazing mermaids on my Instagram feed lately, I decided to create a brand new mermaid for MerMay 2020. So if you guys would like to see the illustration, keep watching the video. The first mermaid we'll be reviewing today is this mermaid titled Lady of the Lanterns. Okay, now for this mermaid, I had this idea of having this oriental mermaid. I wanted her to look very classy and very what's the word very orientally. I really don't know what to call it, but I had this idea, and first of all, yes, she did live up to my expectations. I really love this piece so much, but I have a few issues. One, the flowers coming out from her shoulder. I really had this idea of the petals really flowing in the wind, but I don't think it came off like that. I should have added a little bit more dynamic movements with the petals and made it look more like the tattoo on her hand is actually on her shoulder, sorry, it's actually leaving her body and flowing into the air. But sadly, that didn't come off exactly as I planned. But that's my major issue. Also, the lanterns in the background, I'm not really a fan of them. I think after drawing the mermaid, I was really very tired and I just really rushed the whole lanterns, and yeah. But other than that, I do like the piece. I think it gives off that feeling I initially had in mind. And yeah, so that's that for Lady of the Lanterns. Our next piece is titled Lady of the Nile, and this mermaid, I love her so much. The gold, the blues. The moment I was I wanted to do an Egyptian themed mermaid, I was gold and blues, gold and this. What's the color of this blue? Yeah, it's gold and teal blue. I don't know why I forgot teal, really. So yeah, it's this really cool gold and teal, and I just love the illustration so much. I love the gold details and everything. But my major issue with this illustration is the hair. I suck at drawing braids. If you couldn't tell from my media artist video, I just do anything. As long as it looks like braids, I'm cool. I really need to practice drawing braids. And it's actually a love-hate relationship with the hair because I like the simplicity. I like the fact it looks like braids. Maybe it's the gold detail in it. But it's I like it, but I don't like it. It's very two-sided. It has this simplicity that I like, and I feel it adds a lot more to the whole piece. But I feel it's also just it looks very poorly done, and I wish I could just change that. Also, her fins on her tail, or whatever you call that, I don't really like how it came out. She's a little bit stiff, but honestly the colors really just do it justice, and I can forgive all those tiny mistakes I did here and there. So hopefully you guys like this mermaid too. Our final mermaid for last year is this piece titled Lady of the Gardens. And oh my god, you guys, I love this piece so much. Like the greens and the pinks, like those two colors are amazing together. If you can't go wrong in green and pinks. So my new illustration for 2020, I was like, I have to do something like involving nature, because I do love like green and nature and wildlife and all that stuff, but I have issues drawing plants. I don't know, am I the only one? I just have issues drawing foliage and plants. But I really wanted to like challenge myself in this piece. I did a lot of studies and I like observed lots of plants, and I know they're not perfect, but honestly I love this piece. I love this piece so much. I was so scared when I started the sketch that it wasn't going to turn out how I expected, but it I love it. It turned out exactly how I expected, and I think it's going to be one of those pieces that even when I grow in the nearest future, I would still always look back at it and be proud of it, because it really is that piece that it was like that moment I finished making this piece, I was like, yes, this is the peak of where I am at this moment, like at that moment in time. My only issue is the hair. I really don't like the way I draw hair. I'm still looking for the best way to draw hair that I personally like. I still have a lot of issues and I experiment a lot with drawing hair. But this piece, this mermaid piece, other than that, I really love the way she turned out. I know I can make it better, but for now, I feel like it was my peak at that moment. So yeah, that is Lady of the Gardens. So now the moment you guys have all been waiting for, here is the brand new illustration for MerMay 2020. As you can see, I started off with a mood board and then I started my thumbnailing. I did 4 thumbnails and I picked 2 that kind of had the mood I was going for, and eventually I went with the second thumbnail that I did because it just gave that mood. And honestly, I wanted this piece to be very background heavy. I know I said it's background heavy. I am terrible at drawing backgrounds, but I've been studying lately. I did a lot of studies before I went into this piece. I did add that here because I do want to like make study with me videos, and I want to like show processes of how I study, because I know not everyone knows how to do studies, and I want to like make a video in the future on how I do my studies and how I like practice backgrounds, because honestly doing those studies beforehand really helped me in this piece. I didn't just jump into it with no idea of what I wanted to do. I did the studies and then it kind of gave me a vague idea of like techniques I could implement when creating this piece, and it honestly helped me a lot. While creating this piece, I let the idea of style or, oh, this is the specific way I draw, I just put that aside. I was like, you know what, this piece, I'm going to try and get all the things I've learned and just put it into this piece and make it the best I can make it right now, because we tend to always rush into illustrations and we want it to come out exactly how we imagined it or how we like picture it in our heads, but it never works out, and then we get frustrated or stressed and we struggle a lot and we just give up. And that's, in reality, that's not how you should come about creating a piece. You're never going to be successful if you keep trying to get that picture you envision in your head, because everyone always envisions this amazing illustration that is so big and amazing that when everyone sees it, they're going to be like, wow, this piece is amazing. But we always tend to forget that we're not at that skill level yet, and we have to practice in order to get there. And when you try to just jump into that big illustration and you want it to look exactly how you pictured it, it's not going to work out, and then you get frustrated and you give up and you don't practice and you don't get better. When creating bigger illustrations, things that you're not used to, you have to have the mindset to experiment. If it's not working out, scrap it. I did it a lot in this piece. There were parts that were not just working out for me, and you would see me just cutting that whole part out and starting afresh. No one is watching you create these pieces. No one is watching you, or you're not under pressure to create this piece and show everyone the process. No one is going to know if you took the whole piece out and started afresh. So just take your time, experiment a lot, be open, try new things, If it's not working out, go back, restart it afresh. Just have fun. It's your work, it's your illustration. Art is all about having fun. It's all about the process. Enjoy it. Try new things. You never know what you'd like and what you would pick up. Anyways, let me tell you some struggles I had in this piece. The vines, those vines right there were hassle, and eventually it was one of the things I was like, you know what, scrap it and start afresh. I just took the whole thing out after trying my best, and I did a different technique where I drew the lines kind of like vertically down, and I just loved the way that came out. Already you could see the huge difference. And then from that I added the flowers and some other things, and I tried to do this impressionistic technique, which I never really do. I noticed that when you're working with nature or environment, or like things that are not really man-made objects, try and go very impressionistic, because that roots kind of makes it look more natural and makes it look one with nature. Most times we try to like do everything, make every detail so everything can stand out, but most times that removes the life from the piece, if you get what I'm saying. Try to like be loose, try to try new things. Everything doesn't have to be in detail, everything doesn't have to have line arts. I mean, unless that's what you're going for. But personally, I wanted to go for a more loose kind of style where I didn't have to make line art for everything. As you can see, the only things that the only things that were in line art are the mermaid and the swan. The rocks and the bridge and every other thing, I tried to use this painting approach to render everything out, which is something I also did. I painted. Normally I go with this cell shaded approach, and I like cell shading for my characters, but I don't like them for my environment. They kind of make the environment look too cartoony or stiff, and that's not really what I'm trying to aim at. So for this piece, I decided to like experiment and try this whole new approach. I picked up some stuff here and there, and then I just implemented everything, and honestly I love the way it turned out. If I wasn't open for experimenting, I would not have gotten this piece to look how I wanted it to be. Back to the thing I said about studies. I do plan on making videos on how I do studies, because so many people don't know how to do studies. I was having a conversation with one of my art friends, and she was like, she doesn't know how to do studies. And I was like, yes. I always hear people tell you, like, you ask professional artists, how do you get better? And they tell you do studies. Okay, how? And it's like, I don't know how to do these things. Everyone always tells you to do studies, but they never really tell you how to do studies. Now, I did not go to art school, so take all I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I found a technique that has really been helping me. I mean, before this piece, my other backgrounds and illustrations are tragic. Like, you guys don't even want to see them. So I found a technique that works for me, and it has been working just fine, and I've been learning a lot and improving a lot. So I'd like to share my technique, the way I do studies. Like I said, me, no one taught me this. I don't know how right or wrong it is. It's just something that I have been doing and it has been working for me, and I'd like to share it with you guys. Maybe some of you out there might take a few things from it that could help you improve as well. So hopefully very soon I'll be making a how I study video, so you guys can see how I do that, and maybe pick a few things here and there that you can implement while you do your own studies. Some of my favorite parts in this whole illustration are the fountains, like those fish fountains. I love them so much. I love the water, everything. And then the bridge. I love the technique I use for the bridge. The mermaid also, I really love the way I rendered her hair. I don't really draw hair in this way. And like I said, I'm not really a fan of how I draw hair. And one of my friends told me that my hair kind of looks stiff, and honestly, I know my hair looks stiff. There's no life in it, and I've been trying to change up the way I draw hair. So this time I decided to do this painting rendering approach, and I love it. I'm so happy with the way the hair turned out. So I'm just going to leave you guys with the speed paint to watch and enjoy the rest of the process. If you want to see the full piece and take your time to look at it, it will be up on my Instagram at NeddyIsNeddy by tomorrow. So if you guys want to go and look at the details a little bit more, though Instagram really butchers quality, so I advise you to check my Twitter as well, because Twitter quality is way better. So you can also check my Twitter, and while you're at it, just drop a follow and a like, maybe, if you want to. So with that is my 2020 MerMay illustration. I don't have a name for this piece yet. I'm still thinking of a good name, but if you guys have any ideas of what I could name this illustration, please leave it down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. You know the drill. Thanks for watching, and until next week, bye.